begin every day like a beautiful song. As I'm choosing my way, there's a voice inside to guide me along. I am spirit-led, spirit-fed. Everywhere and always I am spirit-led. I am spirit-led, spirit-fed. Everywhere and always I am spirit-led. I am spirit-led, spirit-fed. Everywhere and always I am spirit-led. I am spirit-led, spirit-fed. Everywhere and always I am spirit-led. Everywhere and always I am spirit-led.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity Victoria. Welcome to Unity. The late Eric Butterworth described Unity in these words: Unity desires not to be a powerful organization, but a powerful influence for good in individual lives. It seeks not to be the religion, but to help people find religion for and within themselves. There are many definitions of religion, but it is Unity's belief that the essence of religion is the consciousness of God. The ultimate goal of the teaching of Unity is to help you to become one with God. My name is Pat Clarkson, and I'll be leading this morning's service. Our guest speaker today is Reverend Vicki Vanderhorst. I found Unity at Unity Comox Valley, where Reverend Vicki is minister. And it was through Reverend Vicki's teachings of Unity's principles and teachings, and her presence and spirit that fed and continue to feed my soul. Is the reason I'm here. Reverend Vicki was also my ministerial mentor. So I am so pleased to be once again partnering with Reverend Vicki, and we are so lucky to have her with us. Unity Victoria is a vibrant, loving, caring spiritual community, whether you're in person or we're going virtual. And what is the foundation that sustains them are 5 values that the community chose. And I would like to affirm them now, and if you'd like to join me, please do so. So here are Unity Victoria's sustaining values. Inclusivity, spirit-led, joy-filled, life-transforming, and compassion. As we move into our invocation, I would ask that we all just settle into stillness. Let us be one in faith and prayer. We are the bringers of the light. We are divine faith made visible. Where there is great action that needs to be taken, let us take it. Where there is need for prayer, let us pray. Where there is need for acts of kindness, let us do them. Let us live the words of St. Francis of Assisi. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in the giving that we receive, it is in the pardoning that we are pardoned, it is in the dying to self that we are born to eternal life. May you live in the knowing that you are one with Sacred Spirit, and individually and together we bring divine light into the world. And so it is. As I said earlier, Reverend Vicky is our guest speaker today. And her and I are starting a 5-week Sunday Talk series entitled Ask Yourself This, based on the book by that title written by Unity Minister Wendy Craig Purcell. And Reverend Vicky's talk is about how wide is your circle? We will now move into song.
This is the book that we're working with over the next 5 weeks. Ask yourself this. And the subtitle is Questions to Open the Heart, Expand the Mind, and Awaken the Soul by Wendy Craig Purcell. Questions. The power of questions. Questions open doors, don't they? Questions create room for exploration and conversation. Questions can shake us up, maybe even offend us. But is that a bad thing? I don't think so. I'm sure we have all been around a 2 or a 3-year-old where every other word is why. We're going to the grocery store. Why? To get food. Why? So that we have something to eat. Why? Right there, in 30 seconds, we've gone from a simple question to opening up the doors to one of the greatest mysteries in the world is life. Why do our bodies need food? How do our bodies process food? What is this about life that is necessary for us? The power of a question. The author James Thurber said, "It's better to know some of the questions than all of the answers." And I agree. So for the next 5 weeks, we are going to be exploring some expansive questions. Each chapter in the book has about 8 to 10 questions in it. So Pat and I will be just pulling out a few each week to share with you and to bring to you for your consideration and your thought. From the introduction of the book, Wendy says this: questions are like channels through which our mental, emotional, and creativity energy flows. Thus, the questions we ask greatly influence the quality of our lives. She suggests a few things as we embark on this journey of self-discovery. Be willing to sit with the questions. Allow them to simmer slowly. She asks that we resist the temptation to answer them too quickly, or assume there is only one right answer. And she asks that we revisit the questions from time to time, that they are to be lived, not to be only answered once. So the first question I bring to you is, how wide is my circle? How open am I? This question helps us get in touch with who and what is in our circle, and to think about who and what is not. Growing spiritually calls us to be genuinely open to more people, more experiences, more possibilities. You have already experienced this in hundreds of ways since you were a child, widening your circle by trying something new, riding a bicycle, learning how to swim, learning how to drive, becoming a parent. All of these experiences were once new to us. What about people? Do you know now only the people you knew from your past? No, of course not. We have all met new people. But the question asks, are we still widening our circle? Are we willing to bring in something new? Are we open to new people? Or has our circle stayed the same for a while? In the fall of 2019, I signed up to join a singing group here in the Valley. It seemed to be aligned with my values. So all voices were welcome, and there were no additions. All ages were included. When I saw the choir perform, there was teenagers and 80-year-olds. You didn't have to stick to one part. In fact, the director actually encouraged us to jump from part to part and explore and experience our voice. When we gathered together, we were always standing, because each time we came to a new song, everyone would change their spots and move over and say, hey, I'm going to try this part this week. Or, help me learn this part. It's a wonderful experience. But as I was walking to the location for the first time, I realized that I was walking into a room where I would not know a single person. And you know what? This is a rare experience for me. I have lots of meetings and activities that I've attended in the Valley over the last 12 years in different capacities, and always I knew at least one or two people who were there. This gave me the experience many of you had when the first time you came through the doors of Unity. And clearly why invitation is the best way to have someone new come in. It's the easiest road for people to try out something new, so that when they come to a place, they already know at least one person. So in this case, I was open. I didn't know who I would find there. I didn't know what the people would be like. I wouldn't know how if I would be included or excluded or be welcomed. But I was willing to put all that aside to widen my circle. But how far will we go? Where do we draw the line? Where do we close that door? What about people? Who do you want to know? Who do you stay away from? Who is in your circle? Who have you excluded? It is easy to be comfortable within our own familiar circle. What if we had kept our circle closed when we were 10 years old? We would be lucky to have a single friend now. We call ourselves loving, but how far does that circle of love extend? Perhaps we have become complacent and only want to be around people who like us, who hold the same beliefs and opinions as we do, people who don't challenge us. Think of someone you really dislike. Could be their actions, could be their words, whatever it is. Just think of someone. Perhaps someone who has different political beliefs than you do. Perhaps a different religion, perhaps a different cultural background, different lifestyle choice. And as you bring these people to mind, you have just found the border of your circle. I'm okay with these people, but not with those. That's the extent of our circle. And they are on the other side, beyond our attention, beyond our acceptance. So ask yourself, is my circle widening? It can. You can do it. When we rise above judgment and prejudice, we create room for more. Here's a story that illustrates this perfectly. During World War I, a Protestant chaplain was assigned to a position in Italy, and he became close friends with a village priest. After the chaplain and his troops were reassigned, the chaplain was killed. And the priest asked if his body could be brought back to be buried in the parish cemetery, since he knew the chaplain had no family. The Catholic Church denied his request because he was not Catholic. So the priest buried his friend just outside the cemetery's fence. A few years later, one of the chaplain's troop members returned and wanted to pay his respects at the gravesite. And this is what happened. The priest led the man to the place where the chaplain had been buried. And the man was astonished to see that the chaplain's grave lay within the cemetery's fence. Amazed and elated, he said, "I don't believe it. I see you finally got permission to bury the chaplain in the cemetery." "Well, no, not exactly," the priest smiled. "They told me where I couldn't bury the body, but they never said I couldn't move the fence." We all have places where we need to move our fences. Look at the places where you have blocked people out. Perhaps we could follow Abraham Lincoln's example when he said, "I don't like that man. I must get to know him better." Moving the fence does not mean you need to agree with that person or hang out with that person. It means that you are willing to see their value. It means that you hold the best for them, that you pray for them, that you stop seeing the differences and let go of the judgment. If you want to evolve and grow, I invite you to notice when your heart is cold towards someone and see if you can soften your stand and hold them in love. Here's a second question for today. Is faith or fear guiding my decisions? Well, while fear certainly stimulates actions, it does not encourage conscious action, but rather impulsive or thoughtless decisions. Acting from faith calls us to a higher state of consciousness where we can align ourselves with an inner power. We build faith like a muscle. We start with a little experience and then we go from there. The more we use it, the more it grows and the stronger it becomes. A little faith at the beginning can be strengthened along the way and lead to big results. In 1847, the first suspension bridge to cross the Niagara River was being commissioned. This was to connect the US and Canada. But where to begin? How to start spanning this 825 feet gap between the two countries? Normally, when you're building this kind of bridge, a boat would go across the river carrying a large cable. But the river was way too fast for this to happen, and it was dangerously close to Niagara Falls. So someone came up with the idea, after a lot of time actually, someone finally came up with the idea of flying a kite from one side to the other to bring a string across the river. And so a big contest was held with a $5 reward in 1847, which is probably a lot of money. And many people tried and failed. And finally, a 10-year-old boy was successful. Leave it to a boy to know how to, or a child to know how to fly a kite, right? After the kite got to the other side, they tied the string to a tree. And they used it to pull a small cord. We're talking about 825 feet, a small cord across the river. And then they used that cord to pull over a larger cord, and then a small metal cable, and then a larger metal cable, until they had what was the beginning of the first railway suspension bridge in the world. Small steps lead to bigger steps and stronger steps, and eventually to success. So back to the first question. How wide is your circle? If we start with fear, our circle will remain very small. We will not thrive. We will stagnate. We will miss out on all the opportunities to learn more about ourselves and about others. So let's go into this week and notice where we are closed off and see if we can move our fence just a little bit out. Please join me now for a time of prayer and contemplation.
In the silence I can feel the love. In the silence I can rise above. In the silence I can hear the voice. In the silence I am home. In the silence I can feel the love. In the silence I can rise above. In the silence I can hear the voice. In the silence I am home. In the silence I can feel the love. In the silence I can rise above. In the silence I can hear the voice. In the silence I am home.
Let's take time now for contemplation and affirmative prayer. As we enter the silence, we remember that the silence is a holy place, a place of stillness and peace. It is not far away. It is right where you are now. It is right where you are whenever you shut the doors of your senses. When you enter, the world outside and its troubles melt away. When you leave, your body and mind are stilled, refreshed, and restored. As you quiet yourself, feel the presence of God freeing you from tension. Let your whole body, every nerve, every muscle, every cell, relax and let go. Whenever you feel any tension, relax. If you feel tense across your forehead, say, relax and let go. If your eyes feel strained, say, relax and let go. If you are tense in any part of your body, say relax and let go, until from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, you are perfectly relaxed. Be still. Say this silently until the words take on new meaning, a living meaning, and you feel the stillness with your whole mind, your whole being. In the stillness, when your thoughts and feelings are quieted and the doors of your senses are shut, feel your unity with the divine. As we go into the silence now, I invite you to take on these affirmative thoughts to help you experience the presence of the divine as fully as you can. I am the light of the world. Be still until you actually sense the light of spirit flowing through you and over you. Be still until you feel yourself immersed in a sea of light, until you feel your whole being illumined and uplifted. I have divine intelligence. The mind of God is a reservoir of good ideas that are yours to draw upon, yours to use. You are alive, awake, alert, joyous, and enthusiastic. You have divine intelligence. I see with the eyes of spirit. Let your eyes be the watchful servants of your mind, which sees only the perfection of spirit. Let all sense of tension or fatigue be washed away from your eyes by the flow of divine energy. They are strong, clear-seeing eyes. Your spiritual vision, too, is renewed. You see the truth more clearly. You see with the eyes of spirit. I am free and unlimited. You are free with the freedom of spirit. Negative conditions have no power over you. You are poised, free, and unlimited. I am strong in God and in the power of God. Feel the strength of spirit pouring through you, strengthening every part of your body temple. You are no longer bowed by burdens, your own, your family's, or the world's. You are free, poised, light-hearted, and you face life confidently. And lastly, I am the perfect expression of God's love. Love transforms. Let love fill your heart with harmony. Let love fill your mind with kind, helpful thoughts. Let love fill your lips with words of praise and cheer. Let love fill your life to overflowing with happiness and peace. Love transforms. Whatever the need or problem, divine love is the answer, and you are the perfect expression of divine love. And now from this place of stillness and the silence, we have renewed ourselves with statements of truth, revitalizing us mind, body, and spirit. We go out into our world refreshed, renewed, able to meet anything that comes our way with strength, faith, equanimity. We know this is true, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Vicky. Your spiritual wisdom and understanding have brought me such clarity on Unity's teachings and principles. And I really like the questions you ask because you get me thinking. So I want to thank you. Thank you as always. I think this is about the 10th take, just so you know. I just want to share that with you. I think we could make some money off the ones that I've already deleted. So I just want to say right up front, I hope I get through this one. So here we go. First thing I want to say to Unity Victoria is you're going through change again. You have gone through so much change. From an outsider looking in and talking to members, my opinion is you're doing it with such grace, such grace. It's like you're in the flow of the current. And I give thanks for that, and I thank you for that, for handling this change with such grace. I also want to share what's at the bottom of each of my emails. It's a quote from Julian of Norwich, a 14th century mystic. And I affirm it often, and it is, all shall be well, and all shall be well, and in all manner of things all shall be well. And all shall be well. I want to talk about Unity Victoria's e-bulletin. I think it's going to become pretty important in your life if it isn't already, because it is going to have a lot of information in it. It'll have announcements. I'll certainly share those, but check it anyhow to make sure you've got the announcements that are coming up. It will have the link to fellowship at 11:30, and I will be there. So you've got a direct link, and I think you can also use the Zoom code and passcode that you've been using to get on to the live services we've been having. Oh, yes, and it will also have the words to the Prosperity Blessing and Unity Victoria's Spiritual Blessing. You see, when you think about it, we've been looking at those words on PowerPoint. And when we have them in front of us, sometimes we don't remember them. So you may want to print them off so you can affirm them with me. And Unity Victoria is 100% self-supporting through your financial gifts, your abundance you share with Unity Victoria. And I was thinking of the line from St. Francis of Assisi's poem, "It is in giving that we receive." And I was thinking about growing up in my family, and my parents, through word and action, role modeled that giving was part of who you are. Your time, your involvement, be it individually or within groups. My parents were very active in our little small town, very active. What we didn't learn growing up was how to receive. That wasn't a natural part of my home. The only receiving we had was from mom and dad's sisters, brothers, and sisters. And what we received was clothing for the kids, because there were so many kids that people we'd send each other clothes, or we'd take them when we went to see them. And I can remember Dad coming in and Mom saying, "Girls, you're so lucky. Look what you've got." And so we called those bags luckies. So we'd see a bag coming in with Dad, and we'd all start squealing and cheering because we had new clothes to wear. And then I came to Unity, and it talked about the law of circulation, how you give and you receive, and the flow of abundance and prosperity that moves in that. It's circulated. And if you stop either giving or receiving, you block the flow of that circulation. So it was in Unity that I learned to receive. So I want to, and share with gratitude, let us share with gratitude the prosperity blessing for Unity Victoria. Please join me. I am an ever-expanding expression of divine abundance. I firmly establish myself in the flow of giving and receiving. I am blessed and I am a blessing. So please join me in fellowship at 11:30 on Sunday. We'll see you there. And please say the Unity Victoria's blessing with me, the prayer for protection, and we'll end with the peace song. So please affirm with me Unity Victoria's blessing. Unity Victoria's spiritual community is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us. And we accomplish mighty works together. And we do. We truly do. Please join me in the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a blessed week. See you next Sunday. Please join me in the peace song.